Bruce Lee's Fighting Method. This book. Going to do a review on this book today, Bruce Lee's Fighting Method, written by Bruce Lee himself. Yeah, this is an older book. This book was, well, first of all, the volume I have, this is a hardcover. Now, this was, I think, maybe originally made like this, or I don't think you can get this hardcover. I don't think you've been able to get this hardcover one volume thing in years, but I think you can still buy copies of Bruce Lee's Fighting Method, but it comes in four paperback books. And this is all of them in one in a hardcover, but I bought this a long time ago, so it's kind of a collector's item, I guess. So most of the pictures in this book and most of the things that were written in here were made in 1966 by Bruce Lee. But he was afraid people were going to take the content in the book and say that Bruce Lee taught them this and that. So he never published the book while he was alive. But there was a lot of content, a lot of pictures done in it. And, him with some of his students, and you can see Dan Inosanto's in a lot of these pictures, the famous Dan Inosanto and Bruce Lee showing a lot of the moves on him. Luckily, with this copy, I had trained with Dan Inosanto a bit, a few times, and I got an autograph from him, autographed copy. But anyway, like I said, this book, most of it was done in 1966. Bruce Lee never published it, but he passed away in 1973, and his wife, Linda, published this book after his death, and it was published in 1978, so about 5 years after Bruce Lee's death. And like I said, it's you can be found now, but it's in 4 different volumes, I believe. I got this copy in the early 1980s. The early 1980s, I got this, and like I said, I don't think you can get it anymore. But yeah, it's got a lot of techniques. It's broken down into a lot of sections here. So, well, not a lot of sections, but for example, he's got basic training in here. He's got skills and techniques, and he's got advanced techniques and self-defense techniques. Now, what's kind of interesting about this is, this book is, the content's like 55 years old, right? So, but it was pretty innovative for the time. Bruce Lee has a lot of boxing things in here. I know he's a big fan of Muhammad Ali. And you can see a lot of footwork, boxing style footwork. He does some Chi Sao, some Wing Chun drills in here. He does a lot of conditioning. He shows things about running and jump rope and exercise bike, and it talks about how much he did that. And it's got footage of his famous 1-inch punch that he did. Things like that, a lot of bag work, and he talks a lot about how important physical training is. But he also gives things on skill techniques and how to do things and how to improve your speed and power and timing and distance and all that. When it gets to the self-defense things, it's very, very basic stuff, like kicking people in the knee, poking them in the eye. It's nothing elaborate like in his like in his movies, nothing fancy or showy at all. Like here you can see another one, defense to a hook punch, where he just kind of blocks it and pokes him in the eyes. So very simplistic things, which probably is what you need best for self-defense. It's very simplistic things. So anyway, it's a good historic reference, and you can see Bruce Lee was kind of ahead of his time, in some of the training he was doing that a lot of others weren't doing. Or, boxers boxed and martial artists did what they did, judo people or karate people or kung fu people, but he was crossing lines and doing a lot of cross training, and really one of the first people to do that. So It's a good book. It's a good historical reference. You can still find it in paperback in the different ones, in the different books. And you know, for 55-year-old content, it's pretty good stuff. So check it out. Bruce Lee's Fighting Method from Bruce Lee himself. You know, it's kind of interesting to look at if you like martial arts history. So check it out. And like, share, and subscribe. And we'll keep stuff coming out. Thanks.